𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐬𝐁.com.
Hey, hey. All right, here we go. What is today? Wednesday. Got it. Welcome to Wednesday on the show. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes at your local Farm Bureau insurance agents in all 82 counties around the great state of Mississippi. I'm Matt Beavers here. Y'all are here. All y'all, as Neil would say. And get on in here. There's lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. I hope you will. You could, if you want to, you could text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text the show, 885-3776. Got it? 885-3776. Just text away, and I'll get it in here on the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing Sausage. Best sausage in the world made here in Mississippi on Highway 49 in Florence at Country Meat Packers. Get it online at countrypleasing.com. I had the original smoked sausage flavor this morning for breakfast. You could call me, and that way I get to hear your voice, which is really cool, so y'all call me. On the Junction phone, Junction Delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. The number to the Junction phone, 897-1059. I had chicken wings from the Junction up there on Sowell Road across from Germantown High School yesterday. I was one day ahead. Today is actually National Chicken Wing Day. Sure is. Today is National Chicken Wing Day. So y'all have some chicken wings for lunch in honor of National Chicken Wing Day. And hey to you on the live stream, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, you post a comment. It pops up here on the screen in front of me, and you can be a part of the show that way. And I'll read them. If I click it, then it's on the screen. Everybody can see it. First text out of the chute. He's in on time today. Paul, what's up? You texted in and said, hope y'all are having a good one, and asked Beaver, what's up? What's up, Beaver? He said. Beaver's pushing the buttons and driving this bus. He's going to get you home safely in your driveway a couple of hours from right now. Just keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times and enjoy the ride. You are going to have another team on the countdown of 80 teams in 80 days today. And this is a good one. In my opinion, the number one fight song in all of college sports. Okay, and I know it's not state. I like the Hail State fight song, okay, but I'm biased. I went to school there, played there. It's mine. So I can't include it in the evaluation because I'm biased. I like it better than everything because it's mine. This is my opinion of fight songs that aren't mine. This is the best one in America. Wonder who that could be. No, it was not a playoff team a year ago. No, it's not an SEC team. I don't know. Who could it be? You got to stick around. It's got a tease for you. While I pour some hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com and get you some coffee. Stay caffeinated, as Dan would say. Dan the coffee man. Stay caffeinated. All right. Here's a story to sip on some coffee, too, while you peruse over the details. You knew this was coming, and I guess this is one of those things where last night, it was almost bedtime for me, 8 p.m. But don't make fun of me. I know it's not bedtime for anybody else. It was almost bedtime for me. Last night, 8 p.m., this popped out there. So this is one of those where you knew this was coming because you'd heard Keith Carter, the athletics director at Ole Miss, say that they're probably going to do this. Now it has come to fruition, and it's coming to a head, and somebody's going to have to answer for something. And somebody's going to have to rule on this thing, maybe even a judge. We'll see. Here's the story. Ole Miss is seeking close to $1 million in penalties from two of its former football players who signed revenue-sharing contracts to return to the Rebels this season before joining Coach Lane Kiffin at LSU. According to the lawsuit, it was filed a couple of days ago, by the way, in Circuit Court of Lafayette County in Oxford. Ole Miss seeking $550,000 from former defensive end Prince 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢. Did I say that right? Close enough. And $400,000 from former guard Devin Harper, plus attorney's fees and court costs. And this is in a breach of contract complaint. Here's a quote for you. In a statement from the University of Mississippi, in a statement to ESPN, here's what they said. The University of Mississippi values its student athletes and is committed to honoring all obligations made to them. In return, the university expects that same commitment from its student athletes and their representatives in upholding their contracts. Before transferring to another institution, student athletes Devin Harper and Prince Will signed revenue-sharing agreements that included a provision requiring them to compensate the university with a predetermined amount if they departed before fulfilling their commitment. The University of Mississippi has a responsibility to enforce its contractual terms, and this position is consistent with the actions of other institutions in the current landscape of college athletics. The university attempted to amicably resolve this matter prior to filing. Lots of official, stiff language to basically say, we keep up our end of the bargain, we say we're going to pay you. Athletes got to keep up their end of the bargain too. And you signed a contract that said, if you leave before this thing is fulfilled, this is what you owe us. You signed to it. Also, we're not the only college out here doing this sort of thing. Okay, so let's get that clear. And we tried to go about this before having to file a lawsuit. Now that's Mississippi State for what, so you can understand it. Real people. Responsibility to enforce its contractual terms. This position consistent with the actions of other institutions. We're not the only one. And that's your translation on that. According to a timeline provided to ESPN by an Ole Miss spokesperson, 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷 me a thumbs up. Am I even close? Tell you what, text me a thumbs up. Just all I need is one person. Text me a thumbs up if I'm even close. 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷 signed a revenue-sharing contract to return to Ole Miss on January the 3rd. Thank you, got it, got my thumbs up, thanks. He entered the transfer portal January 20th, which is, not quite a month later than signed with LSU the next day. The other one signed a deal to remain at Ole Miss on the 6th. He left to go to LSU on the 16th. 10 days later. So this is clear. This is black and white, clear. Clear as crystal. You stole fizzy lifting drinks, said Willy Wonka. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized. You get nothing. No, the point is you got the contract. It says this. You signed it in the 1st of January. Then you go ahead and leave. You're playing at LSU. We want the money. Okay, the contract says you owe us this. And, some of this has to be also motivated by the fact that you already paid them lots of money, right? It's not like Ole Miss signed these two players and just gave them a scholarship. And they're just glad to be there. And you're trying to gouge them for buyout money. No, Ole Miss paid them lots and lots and lots of money to be there in the first place. So in the contract, having this deal of if you leave before this is up, you owe us $550,000. Over here, you play guard, so you owe us $400,000. If you leave a week, 2 weeks later, they leave. This is only kind of getting some back of what they already paid those guys. It's a contractual deal. So, it is what it is. If I sign a contract in my life, in anything I do, whether it's talking, hosting a show, a podcast, a job to perform video or photography services, or whatever it is I do for a living. If I sign a contract and it says on this day, this is what I agree to, and if I do something, if I leave or don't get the job done before such and such day, my contract, and I've signed on the dotted line and says I'm going to owe them that money, guess what? I owe them. There it is. Now, I cannot take their phone calls, but as soon as they sue me, I'm going to wind up in court having to pay. It's really that simple. And there is the world we live in. Now, yeah, the question is when they have to pay, where's the money coming from? I guarantee you they're not the ones paying that. It's effectively a buyout is what it is. All right, your texts, your calls, comments, we're just getting started. Back after this. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about a couple of things that you might want to take a look at. First up, there's a whole new series of football videos that I have begun on the YouTube channel this summer, and it's going to go all throughout the fall, all the way through football season this year. One is an early week upload called Football IQ, where I kind of talk through some concept ideas related to watching football as a fan. Later in the week, there's an upload series called Matt Explains, where I take one specific football term or concept and kind of break that X's and O's down for you, where again, you as a fan can watch it, learn it, and then watch football games differently and enjoy watching those. We just started a Saturday, Sunday, once a weekend live stream called Coffee with Matt. That'll take place probably on Sunday nights and every now and then a Saturday. Sports, that'll be fun too when we get into the season when there's games. And then the fourth thing I want to make you aware of for viewers of the radio show, listeners to the radio show, if you like the Mississippi Outdoors podcast, I've started a new YouTube channel called Off the Air with Matt. And I'll put a link on the screen right here, but you can just look it up on YouTube, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt. And what that is sort of a weekly, once a week show behind the scenes of what it's like for someone who talks on the radio and does podcasts and does ball games and stuff. And it's what life off the air is like. And so we've got one of those shows up. Last week was the first week. This will be week 2. Kind of currently shooting behind the scenes for some of that stuff. So you may enjoy that too. Anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up. You've got Football IQ, concepts that you can learn as a fan to help you enjoy watching football more. Matt Explains, and there's a whole playlist for that. X's and O's, specific things. And again, you can learn it, helps you enjoy it more as a fan. The weekend live stream, Coffee with Matt, which will be on the YouTube channel going forward. I'd love to see you over there. And the new YouTube project, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt, it's there on YouTube. Take a look and see what you think. Love to see you over there. It's kind of tough to drop them off. No, you're not going to see them for a week. Hey, bud. Hey, where we going? Huh? Come on. All right, Mary, we're about to be in Alabama, and you know what your mama says? She says, you'd think Nick Saban could have 4-lane this road if he wanted to. Vacation. What do you think about it? You work hard. You're supposed to work hard. We are supposed to work hard. Okay, and then where's the fine line in resting, being still? Okay, I was still saying, you stop and smell the roses. This week a senator passed away, and it was sudden. One day he's working and overseas and sort of being an ambassador for the United States and other areas, and then he comes home, and the next thing you know, click, he's gone. And so kind of thing that happens every day with people we know and people we love, where you're reminded we just don't know. You don't know how many days you have. You don't know how many hours. It's a guarantee that at some point life will be over and we'll have unfinished projects and unfinished business and things we were going to clean up that we didn't. And
even losing a game. You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Hey, welcome to the real world. Sign a contract, put your name on it. Believe it or not, you're responsible then legally for upholding the terms of that contract. You can kick and scream and all that kind of stuff. And your agent can tell you, oh, well, this is not fair. You shouldn't have to. You just concentrate on football. We'll handle it. Guess what? Gonna pay it. Somebody is. That's just the way that works. There was another, I don't know if we talked about this. There was another kind of sort of example of real world stuff creeping into the college football world. I'm trying to see what day was that. When I was last week at SEC Media Day, Steve Sarkisian, the head coach at Texas, here was the headline was, Steve Sarkisian says Texas had to let players go to create cap space. The quote was, to make the moves we make, to bring in a Cam Coleman, to bring in a Hollywood Smothers, to bring in a Raleek Brown, to bring in Mike Massinus, tight end, we had to let DeAndre Moore go. We had to let Parker Livingstone go. We had to let Trey Wisner go. We had to let C.J. Baxter go. We had to let some pretty good players leave to create cap space to bring those guys in. I think, Sarkisian said, strategically, there were some tough decisions to make, but we made them. I think we can all agree that we're probably better around Arch today than we were a year ago at this time. Well, so football coach, you talk about a different era now. Think about that. Football coach goes to the podium, says, we cut all these players, names them, liked them. They just weren't any good. Not good enough for Texas, and certainly not playing around Arch Manning for what we got invested in him. So we had to cut them and make some cap space so we could bring these guys and names these that we brought in. And, I actually, posted that on Twitter and said, it looks and sounds unsavory initially. However, it's very real world. Get paid like a professional, get treated like one, which means you might get fired. And then I followed it up with this, and I mean this. I am so thankful that Mississippi State let me stay around for 5 years. There's plenty of times they would have cut me if they could. I'm so glad they couldn't. Well, didn't feel like they could. Or for whatever reason didn't want to. I just think it's real world. It's the way it is. Players and these so-called agents, don't sign that thing and then leave 10 days later and pretend as though you don't owe the money. You're going to pay it back. Somebody is. Now, who was it? Was it, Paul. Paul, you texted and said Kiffin will cover it, and he might. I guess he could if he wanted to. He could. He could just pay it up, and pay that off himself. But maybe they're holding out on that. I don't know. But they're going to get it. Jason in Flagstaff, what's up? You texted the show. You said, I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed that offensive line tutorial thing you did. My son thought I'd lost my mind because I stood up and cheered at your QBs at the Power 4 level bit. Well, Jason, thank you. And for those who don't know what Jason's referencing, on my YouTube channel, there are two playlist series that are going on right now. One is called Matt Explains, and then the other one's called Football IQ. And in the Football IQ, this week on the Football IQ playlist, there's a video about the real MVPs of any football team. And you don't take my word for it. There's plenty of coaches' quotes in there about the same thing, and then some examples to kind of prove it to you. And why the offensive line as a unit is the most important position on the whole team, like the group. Most important one on the whole team. So, yeah, you can see that. Just look me up on YouTube. Look at that video. Watch it for me. The more you click on it and watch it, just give me some free clicks. Just click it. Let it run on your computer. Walk away. I'm sorry, that's disingenuous. No, just watch it. You might enjoy it. The real MVPs of the football team. Possum Neck Joe. What's up, Joe? You said it's going to be a good afternoon. Not working at home, get to listen to you guys. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing in 30 minutes on TV. Looking forward to seeing Jake play. I bet you are. Man, they lost in 12 innings last night. Jake had 2 more hits. Okay, we're about to be in August, and he's batting over 300. But, yeah, they lost 8-7 last night in like 12 innings. A heck of a ball game. They were down early, had to come back, and then lose in extras against the Diamondbacks. It's the first time, Joe, that I've watched any Diamondbacks baseball really all year. Have they changed their uniforms, or was that like a one-off uniform? It had blue in it. I was like, when did the Diamondbacks start putting blue in their uniforms? I don't know. All right, Willie. Text on the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. This is Willie Joe listening from Horse Pen. Can't wait for deer season and football season. Well, both will be here before you know it. Willie Joe, text me anytime. Somebody told me I was pronouncing that name correctly, but then More Bully gave me a thumbs down. I don't know if he's messing with me or if I really did get it wrong. Either way, More Bully, I'm moving on. Grumpy, what's up? You texted and said, Matt, Grumpy applauds Ole Miss. I mean, you hate to say that suing somebody is totally necessary and always warranted. I mean, like this is one case where, yeah, I mean, like those players, you can't sign something on January the 6th, okay, that says, I will not leave, and if I do, I will owe you this amount of money. And 10 days later, you leave. And then expect to not have to pay the money. Grumpy, you texted and said, Matt, Grumpy applauds Ole Miss. Yes, Matt, the Dodgers are still the best team in Major League Baseball. And Grumpy does not eat chicken wings. What? Well, you got to today, Grumpy. It's National Chicken Wing Day. Look, I was on my way north out of Jackson yesterday afternoon. I whooped in there to the Junction Deli at the Chevron across from Germantown High School on Sowell Road, you know, just north of Gluckstadt. I whipped in there. This was at like maybe 4:15 in the afternoon. And they had 2 different kinds of good-looking chicken wings up there on the display in the heater. One, I could tell they were bigger wings, but I could tell they were mild. And then some of those smaller ones that were the spicy, I got me some of those spicy ones. Yes, sir, I did. I ate half of them before I even pulled out of the parking lot. That's true. It's a true story. It really happened. All right, let's see. Rick, regarding the players who leave after signing a contract, make believers out of them, make them pay back. Now, look, if you want to be paid like a professional, there are things that go along with that. Contracts, and you could be fired. It's just the way life is. You said, don't pay Arch so much money. You won't have to cut other players. Arch didn't need the money anyway. Well, you know, I don't know if that's the deal. I think what they're looking at is that you got to maximize your chance to win something with him as your quarterback, right? As opposed to just getting close every year. Now, this is a good thought regarding the players that left Ole Miss are now at LSU. They're combined going to owe Ole Miss about $1 million in buyout. And Old Tackle says on YouTube, hopefully the Children's Hospital is not going to have to cover that. I know. You know, it's true. Like, I hit the laughing button, but really it's not funny because it's true, isn't it? They've done that before. Percy. My man, do y'all realize how cool it is to be on the radio in the southeastern United States, where Leonard's Losers used to be all over the place, and to have a listener on Facebook named Percy.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.
Get me out of here, Percy. So, Percy on Facebook, I'm going to read your comment when we come back. I got your text, Anthony. That's a good thought. We got to get into that, too. Plus, coming up later in this hour, we will have team number 38 on the countdown of 80 teams. We're 38 days away from September the 5th. It's getting here quick. And in my opinion, this is the number one fight song in all of America. All of that and more coming up in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Oh, tried and true.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, I told you I'd read it. Let's see what Percy has to say on Facebook. Every time I see the name Percy, I think of Leonard's Losers. Back in my day, 61 to 65, I was and am still glad they let me hang around and play and get an education. Percy, you said, I just hope this NIL and transfer portal will come to a head and just maybe we can once again see playing for the love of the game. NIL should be just what it says, not paying millions for high school seniors. Yeah. You know, and Percy, like, we live in a day and a time. It's societal, but certainly in big-time college sports because it is a religion. You know, it's what a lot of people, it's their God. It's what they worship. And because of that, it's a zero-sum game of like, you do whatever you can to get ahead. And so what I'm getting at is nobody thinks about should anymore. There's no, for many people, including, unfortunately, many people, it could be coaches or others in the college sports arena, they just don't consider should. It's only can or can't. If I can, I will. It doesn't matter what it is. It's never, should I do this? Should we? That's just out the window. But that's where we are. That's the way things are. Let's see. Hail State fan, what's up? On YouTube, you said, my buddy and I went home on leave while in the Navy, heading to his house in West Virginia. Virginia State Trooper pulled us over and told us all feet must remain inside the vehicle at all times. So what are you doing? You just hanging your feet out the window? Yeah, I've seen that. A lot of people do that. Just roll the window down, hang their legs out the window. Why? Why did you do that? All right, let's see. What else? Anthony, you said on the Country Pleasing text line, are the players, students, or employees or contractors? Well, they would be, I mean, they are students because they are enrolled in class and can get credit, you know, towards their degrees. They're not employees technically, but right now, again, technically, they are considered contractors basically on the sports side because they do get contracts and they do get paid to play. Paul, you texted and said LSU has declined Ole Miss's request for payments, stating that LSU was not a party to the private revenue sharing contract signed between the players and Ole Miss. Because LSU denies responsibility for these specific player contracts, funds must be contested through the legal system directly involving the players rather than a routine school-to-school athletic department payment. Oh, boy. Yeah, but I mean, LSU's giving them money to be there. LSU could easily funnel the money through them to pay this thing off and make it go away. And you know what I mean? Now, technically, I guess it does have to come for them. They're going to have to pay it. There's no way around it. It is what it is. Peyton, appreciate you texting the show on the Country Pleasing text line. Number to text, 885-3776. You said, hey, Matt, enjoying your football series on YouTube. If you get a chance, can you answer a question? I've always heard about quarterbacks' boots and waggles. Yeah. I know, of course, what a bootleg is, but what is a waggle? Thanks, Peyton. Waggle is basically the same thing as a bootleg. You know, I think, now I don't know this, I'll go back and look it up, Peyton, but I think initially, back in the day, when all that started, when those terms first came about. I think the idea was that a bootleg was always a naked bootleg, which is you do the play fake, turn your back to the defense, but then when you bootleg out with the ball, you don't have any blockers or anything out in front of you. You're naked. You're hoping that the backside of the defense, the end, just went for the fake because you're turning around without any. And I think waggle was you faked it, you did the little bootleg action, but you had a blocker out in front of you to protect you. Again, don't quote me on that. I'll look it up and make sure I'm clear on that. But they're similar. That I know. Hey, all right, here we go. Let's do it right now. I will come to your texts and your comments in a bit. I'm excited about this. It's a fight song. It's time for the countdown of 80 teams in 80 days. Today, we're 38 days away from Saturday, September the 5th. And team number 38 on the countdown of 80 teams in 80 days is... the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. I think it's the best fight song, and I know it's the oldest, if you look that up. It's the oldest fight song. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, they're better under Coach Key over there. They went 9-4 overall last year. They were 6-2 last year in the ACC, which was the second best record in the ACC. You know, Virginia won it going 7-1. Well, then Georgia Tech was 6-2, one game back. The deal was SMU, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Duke also went 6-2 in the conference. So there was some tiebreaker stuff in there. Miami, you know, much better overall record than the rest of them at 6-2. But Georgia Tech 9-4. 6-2, and then that 9-4 record last year. They got off to a fantastic start. All of their losses were in November. Started the year 8-0. Started the year 8-0. They began the year by beating Colorado out there. Beat Gardner-Webb. Week 3 beat Clemson by a field goal. Whipped up on Temple. Then they beat Wake Forest in overtime, 30-29 by the hair of their chinny chin chin, put them at 5-0 going into October. And in October, they beat Virginia Tech by 15, beat Duke. That was a really nice win. Beat them by 9, 27-18. Whipped Syracuse 41-16. So they're sitting there at 8-0 going into the month of November. But then they lost on the road at NC State November the 1st, 48-36. Came back and beat Boston College on the road the next week by 2, another close road win. And in the last 2 games of the year, they lost at home to Pittsburgh, 42-28, and then had a heck of a game against Georgia on Thanksgiving, or the Friday after Thanksgiving, and lost it 16-9. So finished the regular season 9-3, and all 3 of their losses were in November. They lost 3 of the 4 games in November. Went to a bowl game. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, played BYU and lost it 25-21. So both wins and losses. They had a bunch of close games last year at Georgia Tech. This season, they'll play Colorado again in week 1. It'll be on Thursday night, September the 3rd, in Atlanta at Bobby Dodd Stadium. And then week 2, they will host Tennessee. So by opening the year on a Thursday, they get a couple extra days to get ready for Tennessee on September the 12th. Tennessee and Georgia Tech. Week 3, Mercer. Week 4, they travel all the way to Stanford on the West Coast. But then they get an open date after that long trip. In the first weekend of October, they don't play. The rest of the October games for Georgia Tech: host Duke, travel to Virginia Tech, host Boston College, travel to Pitt on Halloween. And then in November, they'll host Louisville, travel to Clemson, host Wake, finish the year playing in Athens Saturday, November 28th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, in Athens against Georgia, and that's their schedule this year. Mentioned to you Brent Keyes, the head coach. He's doing a good job there. Their offensive coordinator is George Godsey. Remember that? Y'all old enough to remember when George Godsey was the quarterback at Georgia Tech? He's now their offensive coordinator. Here's a name for you. Assistant head coach, co-offensive coordinator, coaching the quarterbacks, Chris Winkie. That's right, Heisman winner, Florida State. He won the Heisman at like 28 years old. Any other names? Jimmy Smith coaches their running backs over there at Georgia Tech. You got a heck of a coaching staff, too. So that's a little bit about the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech, team number 38 on the countdown. Your thoughts and texts and opinions coming up next in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's Convenience Redefined and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you've listened to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school.
1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
You know, to the question that we got earlier, also, and I can't remember exactly who it was that asked the question. I think it was on the Country Pleasing text line, though, about explaining the boots and the waggles. Who was it? Peyton. That was Peyton. Boots and waggles. Isn't it a shame that we don't have like a college football podcast somewhere that's titled and named Boots and Waggles? It's about time we had that. It's too good of a name for a show not to have one. Beef, maybe we ought to change the name of this show to Boots and Waggle. You can be Waggle and I can be Boots. Chris on YouTube, what's up? You said Hail State Tuesday. Well, today's Wednesday, but we'll take it. I get you. I get them mixed up too. It's no big deal. John, regarding that story on the Ole Miss players getting sued to pay Ole Miss back, break a contract, pay the price. If they like the, quote, new collegiate rules, then grow up. Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. I'm sure they know it. I'm sure they know it. I'm sure that they got a lawyer and agent trying to find a lawyer who can find them an out somewhere in the language of that thing. But most likely, there's not an out. Old Tackle, thanks for your input on YouTube. You said John Bond was king of the waggle. Yeah, man, they had some, sure enough, play action, cool stuff off that old wishbone stuff they used to do. And if you were running the wishbone really well, which they were, you'd really get a defense going one way or the other, and then pull it out of there and go out the other side, and you could be all by yourself and get people open downfield too. Got to be able to throw it running. J-Rock, you said about the Ole Miss players, they left after 10 days. I'm surprised they even got the money that quick. I wonder if they went out and bought. Well, see, the way I read the story, J-Rock, was that it was basically a revenue sharing agreement. That was you were agreeing to get certain amounts of revenue share stuff going forward. But on the day that you signed it, it said, if you leave before we have finished this, you owe us X amount of dollars. And it's supposed to be a mitigating thing of leaving. Like once you've signed this, you're going to owe it. So you're probably going to stay, right? And that's why the language was in the case. It's not, we gave you this, you owe us this back if you leave. That's not the way I read it. See, and Paul, you agree absolutely. That money's going to come from LSU one way or the other. Now, so earlier, Hail State fan, you said on YouTube that you and your buddy told us a story about being on leave from the Navy. Jason, you say going on leave from the Navy is an oxymoron. You can't go on vacation while on vacation after all. Hashtag go Army. Yeah, let's go ahead and fire up that kind of trash talk. And let's just carry it on all the way up until the first weekend in December. How about that? That would be fun. And it'd be new for this show. Possum Neck Joe, what'd you say? Oh, he sent me a picture of the lineup. Said, well, Beaver, maybe you see Jake Mangum's name. Jake's getting a day off. Every 4 to 5 days, they rotate him out, rotate him right back in. They do that with pretty much everybody. Joe, just because you got to learn what they do. Look, they put Ozuna in there. He hadn't played in a week. They play him once every week. Yeah, Jake's getting a day off. Man, I'll be glad when Connor Griffin comes back, too. We're getting close. I haven't read up on it, but surely we're getting close. Hey, I want to point something out that makes me want to consider joining Beaver in rooting for the 49ers. You know, a high-ranking celebrity, head coach, big-time player in the NFL, who takes responsibility, who's a truth teller. Here's the story. San Francisco 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan wanted to make clear he was at fault for the car crash that left him with serious injuries 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, he was speaking publicly for the first time since the crash. Shanahan spent about 30 minutes with a handful of Bay Area reporters to address a collision report that says, erroneously, that the woman, the 21-year-old woman, was to blame who was in the other vehicle. Shanahan said yesterday, quote, "I hit her. I don't know why it was reported that way on the collision report database. The police report doesn't say that." He gave his full version of it, what led up to it. He had a concussion, broken left hand, broke nose, 3 broken ribs, 40 stitches above his eye. He said, "I was going 20 miles an hour. I was not on my phone, but I dropped my phone and it was stuck in my seats. It was in my lap. It slid off. I went down to look for it, took my eyes off the road for 2 seconds, and as I was coming up, the airbags hit me in the face and they broke my nose. And then they said the visor really gashed me. I took my eyes off the road looking for my phone, and my car veered into someone." See, here's my point. You got a report out there that is opposite of what's true. Lots of people running with it. Here's somebody with broad enough shoulders, even though it's an embarrassing thing. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Broad enough shoulders, just stand up there and say, "Hey, let me correct something. I was at fault in this." To accept the blame and accept the responsibility. Man, I admire that. You know, and why is that? Is it just me, or does that seem so rare these days in the public persona celebrity world? Somebody stepping right up and taking blame for something and just owning it. It makes, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad that she's okay. He's beat to all what and back. But to step up and say, "Look, it was me. Okay, I dropped my phone. I take my eyes off the road. I swerved into her." I just appreciated seeing that. Unnamed texter, you said, "Good for Shanahan. Accepting responsibility. Just gained a ton of respect from me." That's kind of how I felt about it. Not that I didn't already, but yeah, it's like you respect somebody. It's easy to pull for them. Blitz. I'm talking about Kyle Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers. He ran over across the lane and ran into a 21-year-old girl who was in her lane, and he really got beaten up. Airbag did some damage to him. Now, how about that, too? I've never thought about this, and it's not to scare you or anybody else. I'm just noting it, what he said. He said, "I went down to look for the phone, took my eyes off the road for 2 seconds. As I was coming up, the airbags hit me in the face and they broke my nose. And then they said the visor really gashed me." So it makes me think, are you somebody that rides all the time with that visor pulled down? Because if something happens, the airbag goes off. He says this visor is what put 40 stitches above one of his eyes. Might think twice about that. It is rare. Paul, you said it's rare. Most try to blame others. JS290, you said accepting responsibility or protecting someone. Yeah, I don't know. Who would he be protecting? If he's in one car, somebody else driving the others, and bam, he pulls over and hits them. Yeah, who's he? He's not really protecting because there wasn't anybody in the car with him. So I I don't take it as it being anything like that. Concussion, broken nose, broken ribs, stitches above his eye. Tell you what now, that airbag did a number on him, didn't it? All right. Hour 1 in the books, hour 2 coming up right after this. On this Wednesday, I'm Matt Bieber is here. We're staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9. What a comeback! The Zone. WRKS Pickens Jackson, where it's time for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time. And here's the pitch. It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Okie doke. Here we go. It is hour number 2 of the show, Off and Running with You. I'm Matt. Beaver is here. You can be a part of the show. Lots of ways to do it. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. On the live stream, y'all want to see the pig? Here you go. There you go. There he is, the big red pig. Country Pleasing brand. Hickory smoked since 1976. Highway 49, Florence, Mississippi. Country Meat Packers is where Country Pleasing comes from. Go to countrypleasing.com. Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. 885-3776. Call me. That way I get to hear your voice. And if you hear this, somebody's on the phone. Because here comes the Junction train. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. The number to call the show, 897-1059. 897-1059. Give me a shout. And on the live stream, hey to you. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Type it in, post it, pops up on the screen. I click it, and everybody sees it, and we get you in that way. So it's kind of, you know, a way to stay connected. Virtual ways to grab your coffee mug, plop down at the table with me and Beaver, pull up a chair, and get some hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany and join the conversation. And just see where it goes. Jason in Flagstaff, regarding the accountability and just owning right up to making a mistake there by Kyle Shanahan. Jason, you said, I don't think it's rare. I think it's more that the ones out here pitching a fit, blaming everyone else, go straight to the media with it. Even in Shanahan's case, he wasn't going to run to the media until they got the story wrong. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Delta Tide fan, what do you got here? You said, here's an interesting link that I found yesterday. You said, as a parent of an autistic who is nonverbal, I thought this was pretty awesome. Thought I'd share it with you. Also thought it was pretty cool that it came from your alma mater. Okay, so it's a Facebook post. Here we go. Diagnosed with nonverbal autism as a child, here is Mississippi State graduate Kirkland Johnson, leading the university alma mater during spring commencement in May. Diagnosed with nonverbal autism as toddlers, Kirkland and his twin brother Kirk relied on music to overcome early learning barriers. He earned his bachelor's degree in music education, while his brother continues in MSU's Access program designed for college-age students with intellectual and developmental disabilities to receive a quality higher education experience. And there's a photo of it. That is really, really neat. Thanks for sending that along. Really cool. And the post, I guess if y'all wanted to see it on Facebook, it's let's see, it's from an account called Mississippi News Source. Yeah, Mississippi News Source. And there it is. Thanks for sending that, Delta Tide fan, and thanks for the picture. There's the entire Delta Tide fan family. And look at little man in his Alabama Nike polo with that Ace script over there. Very cool. Thanks for sending the photo. Y'all keep on keeping on. Tip of the cap. Hey, here's a story for you, college football related. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti yesterday doubled down on his league's push for a 24-team college football playoff, saying that the Big Ten can still eliminate its conference championship game in time for a new format to begin next year in 2027. He told ESPN, the faster it goes, the easier it'll be. There's some things you have to unwind. There's no doubt about that. Regarding the television contract with Fox to broadcast a title game, he said, I think we're committed to doing that. And he says, I think we've got another 30 days or so before the season starts to see how much progress we can make, if any. One of the biggest questions looming is how much revenue could be generated from a 24-team field and if it would compensate the lucrative revenue from Power 4 conference championship games. Money, 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 money. But Petitti, commissioner, Big Ten, pushing for a 24-team playoff. And I just felt like, one, I wanted to bring that to your attention. And two, it would give me an excuse to hit the button on this soundboard that says, Mike Leach regarding playoffs.
I think 64 teams, but I think the minimum is 16. If you had 16 teams, then I think we could settle a whole lot of these issues. You know, it doesn't matter what the East Coast or Los Angeles or anybody in between thinks. All of a sudden there's 16 teams. Oh, geez, number 16 beat number 4. Well, screw number 4. Number 4 is out, you see, because number 16 got them. You know, I mean, that'd pretty well solve all of it, wouldn't it? And then 32, you could easily do 32. And then, the most stunning thing, and I give this lecture probably 3 times every year, but then college football says, they scratch their head and they give a really befuddled, mixed up look. They get a really screwy expression on their face. Like, well, how can that possibly be? I mean, how can we do that? I mean, how is it possible that you could actually have a playoff format in college football? Well, gee, I don't know. Let's start with, we can go down to the local city park, and I'll bet you somebody that handles youth football can tell you how to do something like that. Well, that's too low of a scale. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay, how about high school from a major state? Let's say Texas, Florida, or California. Let's see how they do it. Okay, let's see. These guys, you know, they win a certain number of games. They have a qualification. Okay, now, boom, they're in the playoffs. But they don't have...
Okay, and as you listen to this from years ago from the late, great Mike Leach, just picture it again. He's in a press conference during the football season in which they have raised this question to him. He's got, probably 10 or 15 media people sitting in front of him.
Just 2 or 4 teams or something? Hell no, because they want everybody to have fun and enjoy this playoff system. So they have 16 or 32 or 64 or something like that. Okay, so then they play each other and everybody's on the edge of their seat going to wait and see if this team's going to beat that team or going to beat the other team. And so then, in the end, there's occasionally a debate. If only this team hadn't lost to that team in this round, then this team could have won the whole thing, and that's perhaps true. But the thing that is indisputable is that at the end of the gauntlet, this team came out on number 1, and there's no debate whatsoever who's state champion. Then you can go to Division 3. Let's see, how do they do it? Oh, they do it the exact same way. Okay, now the suspense is really starting to get thick because, Division 2 might do it differently. No, in fact, they don't. They do it exactly, boys and girls, like Division 3 does. And then now they've changed the initials because in this era of political correctness, they love to change initials and make it proper to say things one way instead of another. And I forget what the initials is. But then they go to 1AA. Okay, at 1AA. How do they do it in 1AA? 1AA. I mean, because that's getting closer to us, and we're really sophisticated because we're major 1A. How did they do it in 1AA? You know what? They have a playoff format, and they play it, and they figure it out. And then, okay. Well, they're all below us. Okay, what about above us? The NFL. And everybody, that just makes you feel good to roll those initials off your... it's like Huckleberry Finn said, some days I just have to swear to get a good taste in my mouth. Okay, so then NFL. Now that makes my mouth feel good because that's the best and they're the top. Let's see here. How did they figure out their champion? Well, they in fact organize a playoff system. And how many teams are in there? A hell of a lot more than 4.
I love it so much. How many are in there? A heck of a lot more than 4. He knew it from the get-go. The 4-team playoff was absurd. Okay. What next? 24 teams? We'll see. Staying connected. Back after this. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about a couple of things that you might want to take a look at. First up, there's a whole new series of football videos that I have begun on the YouTube channel this summer, and it's going to go all throughout the fall, all the way through football season this year. One is an early week upload called Football IQ, where I kind of talk through some concept ideas related to watching football as a fan. Later in the week, there's an upload series called Matt Explains, where I take one specific football term or concept and kind of break that X's and O's down for you, where again, you as a fan can watch it, learn it, and then watch football games differently and enjoy watching those. We just started a Saturday, Sunday, once a weekend live stream called Coffee with Matt. That'll take place probably on Sunday nights and every now and then a Saturday. Sports, that'll be fun too when we get into the season when there's games. And then the fourth thing I want to make you aware of, for viewers of the radio show, listeners to the radio show, if you like the Mississippi Outdoors podcast, I've started a new YouTube channel called Off the Air with Matt. And I'll put a link on the screen right here, but you can just look it up on YouTube, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt. And what that is sort of a weekly, once a week show behind the scenes of what it's like for someone who talks on the radio and does podcasts and does ball games and stuff, and it's what life off the air is like. And so got one of those shows up. Last week was the first week. This will be week 2. Kind of currently shooting behind the scenes for some of that stuff, so you may enjoy that too. Anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up. You've got Football IQ, concepts that you can learn as a fan to help you enjoy watching football more. Matt Explains, and there's a whole playlist for that. X's and O's, specific things. And again, you can learn it, helps you enjoy it more as a fan. The weekend live stream, Coffee with Matt, which will be on the YouTube channel going forward. I'd love to see you over there. And the new YouTube project, Off the Air with Matt Wyatt, it's there on YouTube. Take a look and see what you think. Love to see you over there. It's kind of tough to drop them off. No, you're not going to see them for a week. Hey, bud. Hey, where we going? Huh? Come on. All right, Mary, we're about to be in Alabama, and you know what your mama says? She says, you'd think Nick Saban could have 4-lane this road if he wanted to. Vacation. What do you think about it? You work hard. You're supposed to work hard. We are supposed to work hard. Okay, and then where's the fine line in resting, being still? Okay, I was still saying, you stop and smell the roses. This week a senator passed away, and it was sudden. One day he's working and overseas and sort of being an ambassador for the United States and other areas, and then he comes home, and the next thing you know, click, he's gone. And so, kind of thing that happens every day with people we know and people we love, where you're reminded, we just don't know. You don't know how many days you have. You don't know how many hours. You know, it's a guarantee that at some point life will be over and we'll have unfinished projects and unfinished business and things we were going to clean up that we didn't. And, you know, you see those things, it's a reminder. Also had a story this week in
9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team. I found another one from Coach Leach when it came to the 4-team playoff absurdity a while back. As usual, Coach Leach was about 10 years ahead of everybody else, and he had it right. And they'd giggle at him. He said, I think 64 teams, but at least, what was it he said, at least 16? 32, 16, somewhere there. And now now all of a sudden, 2026, we're at 12, and the Big Ten commissioner, who probably will get this done, is pushing for a 24-team playoff. This is another one that Coach Leach went in on a while back. See what you think.
Is the mind-numbingly short-sighted notion that 4 teams for a playoff, you know, somehow establishes something, and that's a very clever approach. I mean, that's such a brilliant approach. That's why everybody does it that way. You know, I mean, nobody does it that way. I mean, if we were so smart, wouldn't all the other sports say, I know what, let's have a committee, you know, because why not? Because, you know, we're American, we love committees. Let's get us a committee. Well, who should be on the committee? Well, I don't know. This guy's a good guy. Let's have him on the committee. Well, I mean, there's people on the committee that don't even have remote associations with football, nor have they at any level other than being a fan. But you know what? Let's have them on a committee. Why not? And then, I mean, it'd be fun. We'd go to that resort. We could talk, we could hang out at dinner, and then we'll decide which 4 teams should go. Because you know why? We don't need to solve this on the field, because we're the ones that know.
I'm telling you, there's just never been anyone, the combination of entertaining delivery, hold my attention, make perfect sense, and do it all 10 years ahead of anybody else. He was something else. Do y'all ever get tired of me bringing up and referencing Coach Leach? And I wasn't his buddy. It's not like we were buddies. We just weren't. I just admired that. I admired him even long before he got to Mississippi State. I was really tickled when he got there. You ever get tired of me bringing those up? Well. Text me, call me. You can text the Country Pleasing text line at 885-3776, 601 number, 885-3776. Do you see the story about this suspended Tennessee linebacker? You talk about weird. Several weird things about it. You can also call me on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. The number to call, 897-1059. Here it is. Came out today. The NCAA has suspended Tennessee linebacker Arian Carter for the first 2 games of the season for accepting a $427 flight from an agent after he declared for the NFL draft. Carter is a senior at Tennessee from Smyrna. He played through a foot injury late last season. After declaring for the NFL draft, he aggravated the injury and needed surgery and ultimately decided to return to Tennessee for another year. So in a statement today, Tennessee coach Josh Heupel said that Arian Carter disengaged from the agent and repaid him for the flight in January. A Tennessee source says that the NCAA originally suspended him 3 games, but the Volunteers appealed the penalty, which reduced to 2. He's going to miss the season opener against Furman. At home on September 5th, but he will miss that road game at Georgia Tech, week 2. Eligible to return for a September 19th game against Kennesaw State. You know, see, here's what I can't quite, there's a couple of things I can't wrap my head around, all right? Maybe you can help me with this. If you're someone who, like me, you have a basic ground level respect for rules. Okay, it's not that you never have broken one. Okay, you have, I have. It's not that we disagree with some rules. Okay, but we respect the idea that there are rules. Okay, I got a basic respect for that. There's rules. But why? Tell me this. I mean, try your best to put yourself in the shoes of Tennessee's athletics director, Josh Heupel, the head coach at Tennessee, or maybe the president at Tennessee. Why are you obligated to not play that guy? Simply because the NCAA says he's suspended for 2 games. Do they still have the power to enforce that in any way? And do they still have the power to penalize you in any way if you just ignore them? See, I remember, what was it, a couple of years ago, you had the Jaquarius Spivey deal going on at Mississippi State, the tight end, who eventually transferred somewhere and played after that, didn't he? Anyway, he was at State, and there was some sort of academic eligibility thing because of the time that he had transferred from one school back to State. It put him missing some sort of deadline, and the NCAA saying that he couldn't play. And so State was not playing him. And I'm sitting there going, play him. Like, what is anybody going to do about that? Why is anyone still beholden to the NCAA? And what I would say then is, because maybe I didn't understand it, I would say, are you obeying their ruling on something just to be nice to them? Just to show the NCAA some respect or something? Like, because there ain't a thing they could do if you chose to play him. Well, then someone said to me, yeah, but it could put in jeopardy your eligibility for a bowl game. Why? Okay, maybe recognized by the official NCAA something, but a bowl game, I don't understand that either, because that's a private thing that works out a contract in conjunction with 2 conferences. Let's say in the case of, for example, what? The Gator Bowl used to be the SEC and the ACC. Well, they've worked out the contract with 2 conferences. Jacksonville's attracted. They're going to pay the schools to come and do it, or the conferences get the revenue to send 2 teams. They do the teams. They got the TV contract. What's the NCAA got to do with any of it? So I don't understand that. In this era, this is not 10, 15 years ago. I would not even be thinking this 10, 15 years ago. But now I look at it and go, you're paying every player outside and around what NCAA says you should, but simply because the NCAA can't do a doggone thing legally about it and are getting defeated in court, they can't do a thing. So you're doing what you want to do on that front anyway. Every school, including Tennessee, is doing anything they want to do, financially compensating players, even with the NCAA disagreeing with it. So you're already, averting any sort of leadership from them on that front anyway. Why would you also adhere to them telling you couldn't play this kid because they're going to somehow, magically penalize you later? Bull. They're not. All you do is challenge. All you have to even do is threaten a lawsuit. So that's my thing. Like, why would Tennessee not just play him? Now, they may be going, okay, he's been injured. It probably wouldn't hurt him to miss the first 2 anyway. I hate he's going to miss Georgia Tech, but they're both non-conference. So instead of making a big deal out of this, we'll just roll with it. Okay, but here's the NCAA, right? Kids can get agents, do get agents. we've got one NCAA institution in Ole Miss suing 2 kids at LSU who left Ole Miss because they had contracts with buyouts. All of that is actually around what NCAA says they agree with anyway. Nobody's listening to them. Everybody's doing what they want to do because they don't have any legal ground to stand on in a court. What about this? They're going to suspend him for 2 games for a $400 flight that he paid back to the agent? Why wouldn't they play? I'm not throwing a fit because I don't really care whether he plays or not. What I can't wrap my head around these institutions, in this case Tennessee, with where we have gone as a whole body of college football going, oh, well, the NCAA says we can't play him, so we can't. Why not? You can do whatever you want. They can't do one single solitary thing. Why are you throwing them this bone and letting them punish you? You don't even have to. It makes no sense to me. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend. High Point Roasters coffee, New Albany, Mississippi. All right, back with you. Grayson, hey to you on Facebook. Thanks for being here, being a part of the show. Back at you. Will, you said on YouTube, Happy Hump Day, Matt. The stream name on YouTube is One Day Off, FYI. What does it say? It says 28. It does, doesn't it? Today's 29. Yeah. Thanks. So here I am. I had the name of the day right. Wednesday. I just didn't have the number of the day right. And Will, you also said, in theory, the NCAA has no teeth in football, but they could hit the school with a ban from March Madness or the College World Series. Okay. I mean, I guess so. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's one of those deals where it's not a big enough thing that they wanted to make a big deal out of. He's coming off injury anyway and gets the first 2 games. But I just look at it and I go, the whole thing's kind of weird to me that across the board, just totally across the board, every school, every coach, every player, every administrator has totally just turned their back on anything the NCAA says from an enforcement standpoint of anything roster management, because there's just simply nothing they can do in court. But then you'll allow them to punish one of your players for a $427 plane ticket? What bizarro world is this? We're picking and choosing which things we want to sue them over, I guess. I mean, because all you got to do is threaten to sue, and all the members have. Tennessee's even done it. Threatened to sue them on other stuff just so they can continue to pay players and do what everybody else is doing, right? Yeah, and Paul, you're right. On Facebook, you said you could talk Leach every show and not run out of great things to say. It's true. Like I said, I got a whole book of them. See, and this is volume 2. There's a volume 1 somewhere. Volume 2, Squib Kick It to a Fat Guy. And 701 more memorable quotes from the playbook of Coach Mike Leach. You want one? Let's see. Here we go. It's a really small font. I'm putting my glasses on. Y'all hang on a minute. Mike Leach on banning his team, I think this was at Washington State, from social media. Quote, if they don't get enough attention, I've got graduate assistants and student assistants that'll sit there and listen to them embellish stories and talk and tell them how great they are all they want. They don't need Twitter. How about this, too? Now, this is great. Tweet from a Texas Tech player that displeased Coach Leach. Quoting the tweet here. Wondering while I'm still in this meeting room when the head coach can't even be on time to his own meeting. Let me just go ahead and tell you now, that rascal, he didn't operate on a clock. It's a miracle that Coach Leach was never late for a game. All you got to do is talk to somebody at State about it. I mean, I'm not kidding you. There were times when they would have that weekly press conference thing for Coach Leach. Like it happens every week, right? You know, during the season or something. And let's say it's supposed to start at 3. He might walk in there at 4. I'm talking about walk to the beat of his own drummer. For sure. Old Tackle, you texted the show and you said on the Country Pleasing text line, in honor of National Chicken Wing Day, when I coached youth football, I called my short yardage defense beef because it had all the big kids on it. One day at practice, I called for the beef defense. One of my first year players who had come out when the beef went in, I can already tell this is going to be good, looked over at me and said, "What are we, chicken wings?" That's fantastic. He had just earned his nickname, and we called him Chicken Wing the rest of the year. Now, isn't that great? Isn't that great? You're coaching youth football. The goal line and short yardage defense is called beef because all the big kids went on defense. One day you put the beef in, and one of the little kids came out who was on the regular defense and said, "What are we, chicken wings?" Oh, file that under the kids say the darndest things. Old Tackle, you'll as far as kids on teams saying funny things, several years ago, Anna Beth and I went to the retirement reception for Sparky Reardon, the longtime dean of students there at Ole Miss. And she knew Sparky really well when they were in school and knew him over the years. And he had a neat thing, and there were some other people there that had known him over the years who they were friends, including Hugh Mina, the founder of C Spire. Founder and then, longtime CEO of C Spire. Well, during the course of that, Sparky, was speaking, and he told some stories about a few people who were there, including Hugh. And apparently, back in the day, many, many years ago, over in the Delta in the Clarksdale area where Hugh grew up, Sparky coached a youth baseball team, and on the team was Hugh Mina, who later grew up, went on and founded C Spire. Okay, first it was Cellular South, and then it went to C Spire. So here's the kid Hugh on the team. And the way Sparky told he was coaching, and at one point he was not in the game. Hugh was not playing. He was just on the bench here. And the other kids were out there. And I think the way Sparky told this was it was just he, the coach, and Hugh, and the rest of the kids were in the field. And at one point Hugh walked over and tapped him on the shoulder, and he said, "What is it?" And little Hugh said, "Hey, can I order a pizza?" And if you know Hugh, it's funny because you think he's always thinking about something farther down the road than really anybody else is. And that's the way he is. And I remember thinking, yeah, okay, look, there's the beginnings. A great company. Now it's like a nationwide company like C Spire. You look at what they've become. But maybe the genesis of it was a kid who's at the baseball field back in the day before there were no mobile phones, who's sitting on the bench thinking, what would be cool if I had the technology to order a pizza to the dugout from where I'm sitting right now. And then years later, boom, communications company, and that's how C Spire got its start. Kids say the darndest things, don't they? What are we, the chicken wings? Yeah, Jason in Flagstaff quoting Mike Leach in that comment about the offensive line when he said they're the most important position on the team, where he said people were free to disagree, of course, but if they disagree, they'd be wrong. We were visiting family this past weekend in Vicksburg, and at one point we're staying at my in-laws' house, Annabeth's mom and dad there in Vicksburg, and at one point Mary Liddy had to walk through their bedroom and into their bathroom and then come back out. And on the dresser, she calls him Choo Choo. That's Winky, Annabeth's dad. Instead of granddad, it's Choo Choo. And she looked at Choo Choo's dresser, and on top is a little plaque with a saying that says, "I would love to agree with you, but if I did, we'd both be wrong." And I thought, And Mary Lady got a kick out of that when she saw it. And I thought, I need to remember that. I need to bring that one out every now and then. All right, Joe, you texted and you said, Matt, yesterday as you were going off the air, you were talking about newspapers. A couple of weeks ago, my 10-year-old grandson, who I only see a couple of months, saw me looking through old newspaper. He asked what I was doing. I said, looking at the newspaper. Oh, he said, is that something old people do? You said, I didn't know 67 was old. It's not, Joe. That's not old. And you said, didn't know whether to laugh or wear him out. What are you doing? Looking at the newspaper? Oh, that's something old people do? Good stuff. All right, a little bit of time left with you when we come back. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. You got to go over to cspire.com, check out the One Plan, O-N-E. Put it all under one umbrella. Fiber internet to the home and wireless, starting at $99 a month, is a heck of a deal. Back after this. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com. Email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com. And let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road.
And Wyatt, right here, right now, on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you in the Bureau. Yes, that's right. Thank you for your text on the Country Pleasing text line. Yeah, Jimmy and Wade Creekmore, they founded C Spire, and then Hugh Meena became the CEO early on. Yeah, thanks for sending that. State Grad 98, you said, fun fact, the iconic Arnold dad from the Wonder Years never had kids or grandkids. Really? You know, he's kind of one of those actors from the 80s, 90s who was in a little bit of everything. Big screen, small screen. I don't even know his name, but I can certainly picture his face. The dad from the Wonder Years. But I don't know that I ever knew that particular actor's name. All right, let's see. Paul, you said, I was talking about Tennessee and the suspended guy. You said playing an ineligible or suspended player results in severe institutional penalties, including games forfeited, retrospective losses. I mean, yeah, but according to who? Like, what are they going to do? Then you said vacation of wins. And I know you're probably copying this. Send it to me. Heavy financial fines and further multi-game suspensions for the player or coaching staff, immediate team and game consequences, forfeitures. Games in which the suspended athlete participated are officially recorded as losses. Reversing any actual wins on the field, vacated records. The team can be forced to scrub the season's wins and records from the historical databases. Well, so what? Stripping them of conference titles or bowl eligibility, disqualification. The individual player typically faces a permanent or extended loss of remaining eligibility. And this is according to the NCAA. And I understand that that's what they would say is the result. They have also said other things you couldn't do. All you had to do was sue them, and you can do anything you want to do. So I guess what I'm saying is, where's the break in this? Where on one side of the break, we agree with NCAA rules, we allow them to tell us what we can and can't do, and we obey it. And on the other side of the break, we don't agree with NCAA rules, we don't adhere to what they tell us they can and can't do, and we sue them if they even, come on campus. Like, really? That's all I'm saying. I understand what the NCAA says they threaten. It's weird to me, right? Because you go, okay, well, Tennessee is suing about one thing, but not this. All right. Well, then you go, well, Tennessee is a member institution of the NCAA, a voluntary member. Okay, and there are other members, just like, what was it? They were going, if Texas Tech plays Sorsby, this quarterback, well, these other schools are not going to play him. And then the lawyers kind of get involved. You see what I mean? So, is this the same thing? He got a $400 plane ticket from an agent, paid it back. NCAA says he suspended 2 games. If Tennessee said they were going to play him, is the rest of the SEC going to go, our lawyer's involved. If you play this player, we're not playing you. We're not going to schedule you anymore. No, they're not going to do that. I don't know. I'm just saying the whole thing to me, I can't make, just on the surface go, why do you agree to some of the rules and some of their enforcement, but some of it you don't? Whatever. Above my pay grade. Not my school. Send him out. Fine. Whatever. Move on. Atlanta Falcons quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is sidelined with what the team considers a flare-up of an undisclosed injury. They didn't reveal the nature of his injury today. One reporter said he's dealing with a tight back. And with Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr. both out, they're saying the Falcons are signing Cooper Rush to, quote, strengthen their suddenly injury-ravaged quarterback room. And so they're going to sign Cooper Rush, a former Dallas Cowboys quarterback who started a bunch of games and played a bunch when Dak Prescott got hurt. What was it, 2 years ago? Earlier today, Atlanta released veteran quarterback Trevor Siemian. Man, how long has that guy been in there? They released him with a non-football injury designation, leaving undrafted free agent rookie Jack Strand as the only Falcons quarterback fully cleared to practice. Man, he's getting some reps. Hey, who is Hard Knocks going on right now on HBO? Yeah, all right. 2026 summer edition of Hard Knocks features the reigning Super Bowl champs Seattle Seahawks. It'll be the first time they're on the show. It premieres Tuesday. I knew we were getting close. So 1 week from yesterday. So next Tuesday, August 4th, it premieres. To be 8 p.m. Central on HBO. 5 episodes. Goes through September 1st. Defending Super Bowl champs. That ought to be interesting, huh? I think it should be. Hey, there you go. JS290. Maybe the Falcons should give Diego Pavia a tryout. Or at least let him be a practice arm. What they call a camp arm. You know, it's like you're a Heisman finalist in college and you get to be a, quote, camp arm in the NFL. And he didn't make it quite that far with the Ravens. But the Falcons could use him in there. Camp arm. Right now they got a rookie. They're bringing in Cooper Rush. It could even be that there are some camp arms on these, NFL practice fields that we don't even know about because, I don't know, maybe they're not even paying them. I don't really know. Still pretty cool. Even if you're a camp arm, you get to go to training camp with an NFL team, right? Cooper Rush is 32 years old, 8 seasons with the Cowboys, and was in 4 games last year for the Ravens. Now he's on to Atlanta. Both Penix has the ACL injury. It's his 3rd ACL injury in his football playing career. Tua, whatever he's dealing with, he's had all kinds of concussion issues and all that stuff. It is pretty interesting, right, that you have 2 lefties. They were expected to be 1 and 2 in some order. The 2 lefties. Training camp heating up. It's like, here we go. All right, so the Pirates playing right now without Jake. Let's just see how they're doing. They're giving Jake the day off. No, they hadn't started yet. Oh, they already lost. It's over. They didn't play Jake. Last night, Diamondbacks beat them in 12 innings, 8-7. Today, it was a 3-0 shutout. Jake getting a day off, and the Pirates had a grand total of 5 hits. No runs on 5 hits. Man, that game was quick. They were throwing strikes and getting out of there today. It is National Chicken Wing Day. I didn't know that was a thing on July 29th. National Chicken Wing Day encourages a frenzy of dipping and sauce tasting with our chicken wings. I don't like a whole lot of stuff on mine. I just want the wings. I do like them hot though. The only thing about the buffalo deal is that it just gets all over everything. I'm not a big fan of that. So enjoy some chicken wings on me. All right. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show, that'll wrap it up for today on this Wednesday. I'm Matt in the Bureau, staying connected to you because of C Spire. We'll see you on the next one. For all of us here on the show. See you tomorrow.